Hey everybody, it's Squid. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry, I am sweaty. Oh my goodness. And this is not an energy drink, by the way. This is a bubbler. It's one of the best sparkling waters ever. How is everybody this afternoon? If y'all caught my stream this morning, trigger warning on the stream this morning, it is a very hard stream to watch. It is about, if you want the actual heart of the topic, skip to about minute 22, because for the first 20 minutes, we had our Hater of the Week segment, as we do most Mondays. And this Hater of the Week segment is a What the Hales supporter. So those who hate me from the LMNOP side, Jeremy Hales fans, some of them hate me too, because they think I'm like this evil person and I don't like Jeremy. I will put this out there. We looked at the definition of what a friend is. Jeremy and I are not friends. Preface that with, what is a friend? What is the difference between a friend and an acquaintance? A friend is someone you talk to on a regular basis and you are close to. Jeremy and I are not close. But remember how I always say, do not live in an all or nothing world? And nothing is black and white. Everything is a gray area. Just because you are not friends with someone does not mean you don't think they're a good person or you don't like them. You're just not friends. The girl at the bank, sweet girl, love her, love going in there. She loves the little, everything's good. But would I consider her a friend? No. Does that mean I hate her? No. The Walmart greeter. See the same person every time I go to Walmart. Sweet lady, say hi to her, ask her how her day is. Does that mean we're friends? No. Here's thinking my week off would be quiet, but here we go again. So like this, y'all, just because I say Jeremy and I are not friends, does not mean that I have ill will or ill intent towards Jeremy and I don't like Jeremy. Just because I say we're not friends does not mean I hate the man. So Tammy from the Facebook group, I get sent these screenshots all the damn time. All the damn time. We gonna show the screenshot real quick just for, there's like 60 videos of the gym today. Well, that's fun. So we are going to Tammy McCarrow, who I believe is Lady Tammy. You're not a lady. You're not a lady. But you guys know I give the haters their 15 minutes of fame. So we're going to give this hater her 15 minutes of fame. Of course, somebody apparently had said that I was going live. Of course she will. She can't stop gripsing off What the Hales, even though she doesn't even like him. I bet she even uses his name and logo on my thumbnail. I said this morning, if y'all want to hate what I put in my thumbnail, sue me. See how well that went for Bubbles. Tammy, as far as I know, she doesn't dislike Jeremy. See? Not friends. Dislike. Not friends. Dislike. Yes. Hey, Gareth. Squid, you are not my friend, yet you seem to be a good person and stay impartial and look at the facts and the filing. That keeps me coming back to see your views. And see, like, I would consider you an acquaintance. Do I talk to you in chat? Yes. Do I enjoy having you in chat? Yes. However, would I know you if I was walking down the street, and would we go out for a drink? Oh, yes. This person, according to the Tammys that were in chat this morning, this person is excommunicated from the Tammys. This person can join my mother-in-law, Tammy. Okay, for those of you who are new here and don't know my mother-in-law story, I'll give you a 30-second synopsis on who my mother-in-law is. She called my sister-in-law, Mr. Squid's brother's wife, a pussy. And then when she was supposed to be apologizing for calling her that said name, she said, "I'm sorry. It's not your fault. That's just the way God made you." That. Hey, she Nemesis, how are you? She's that is who my mother-in-law is. And my mother-in-law's name is Tammy. So that's how I got to joke about the fact that I have a bunch of Tammys who like me, because there is one Tammy who is no longer in our lives. She's no contact, but her name is Tammy. She hates my guts. Yeah, interesting mother-in-law, right? So when I say she's excommunicated to my mother-in-law's side of the Tammy world, that's who I, yes, she did. Yes, she did. And I remember the exact quote because there are just some things in life that you don't forget. Yeah. So this is God almighty. But like, she isn't taking advantage, or she can put her thumbnail in title Hales v. Preston. Everybody knows this is what the Hales. Let's be honest. Even the haters know this is what the Hales. So like, cut up with that crap. She isn't taking advantage of Jeremy. She may be critical of how Jeremy and Randy present things, especially when they stoop down to Bruce but if you can't trust people to be honest with you, like, who can you trust? Like, I'm not going to blow smoke up people's asses just to try to make sure they like me. If he likes me, great. If he doesn't, it's okay. Like, I'm not like, my day is not going to, yeah. And that's why I say, like, these people, some people on both sides, and I say this on both sides, and this is my prime example, are taking this way too personally. Way too personally. I love you guys, but like, at the end of the day, none of you guys are personally involved in this. You can have feelings, but when I say it's that if you're for me, if you're not 100% with me, you're against me, and that's not the way any of this works. Especially since and that leads into our discussion from this morning about all or nothing, because we were talking about Nikita Kassap and a simple local homicide case from my hometown or my home county became a multinational conspiracy to unalive the president. And it's the all or nothing thinking of, if you're not 100% with me, you're against me, that is running through that affidavit. And it's a trigger warning. It's kind of hard to be, it's hard to be, it's a hard read, and it's going to take some time to get through because it is detailed. And to my overlords who are watching my channel, I was reading, that is not my ideology. It's a hard read. But it's one of those things where, like, if don't live in a black and white world, like, nothing is one way or the other. We are all somewhere in the gray area in the middle. It's a very, very difficult read. It's a very difficult read. But getting to this, we are going to read Bruce's motion for an extension. This is not surprising that this happened. I'm not shocked at all that this motion was filed. However, it's the way it was written that we all have to look at and go, huh? Yes, people forgot how to agree to disagree. Yes. And it's that whole, like, we live in a gray area. So I always stress with this case, if you disagree with people, it's okay. You're not going to agree with the judge 100% of the time. That doesn't mean he's against you. Like, if the judge doesn't agree with you 100% of the time, it means he's doing his job. I don't think more 50 Shades of Grey will be. Yeah, we all live in the middle somewhere. Not all, yeah. We are all different kind of people, and people can be kind of hard to understand. Yes, but that all or nothing mentality, my dad taught me from a very, very young age to not live in an all or nothing world. Like, even when I say, everybody says this, I preface I come back and I say most people, because I try not to generalize, because when you get into that mentality is the same mentality of this neo-Yahtzee group and this conspiracy to unalive the president. So it's the same line of thinking. You might not think it isn't, but it's one of those cases where people in this case y'all aren't with me, you're against me, is not the right attitude to have in anything, because that attitude is the same attitude that a neo-Yahtzee group has. So if y'all have an all or nothing kind of way of thinking, you are thinking the same way as a neo-Yahtzee group. Have a nice day. Like, sorry. Oh my God. Others should not have an excuse because only MLS and BBB responded to the complaint. Yes, but remember, this is Bruce representing himself. So this is Bruce representing himself. So we'll get into that. I don't disagree with the premise of the motion. I disagree with how he's written, and when you're already in a negative light with the judge. When you're already in a negative light with the judge and this judge is already pissed off at you, saying some of the things that you say in this motion might not be a good idea. All right. Request for 21 days from plaintiff's filing of amended complaint in accordance with Order 17 to answer or otherwise plead. Order 17, he already was extended on my calendar until the 2nd. He already had filed a motion to extend. This is why I said, again, I'm not shocked that he's doing this. An amended pleading supersedes the former pleading. The original pleading is abandoned by the amendment and is no longer a part of the pleader's adverments against his adversary. Pintando v. Miami-Dade Housing Agency, 11th Circuit, 2007, quoting Dresdner Bank AG via MV Olympia Voyager, 11th Circuit, 2006. See also Fritz v. Standard Security Life Insurance Company, 11th Circuit, 1982. Under the federal rules, an amended complaint supersedes the original complaint. Fair point. As good cause for this request, the plaintiff was ordered, document 17, to file an amended complaint in response to the motion of co-defendant help, document 16. The same deficiencies in the original complaint, document 1, leading the courts for an amended complaint, court order for an amended complaint to pertain to all defendants, all of whom are included in counts 12 and 13, along with Helm. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't. I see his point with doing this. However, it's what we're getting to why I have a problem. To file a response to the original complaint would be a pointless exercise and waste of time because the amended complaint would render moot any response to document 1. Footnote 1. Whereas FRCP 12.8.4b provides 14 days to file a response to a pleading following the granting of a motion for a more definite statement. Even though that definite statement didn't apply to you, that's part of my problem. The undersigned defendant seeks an additional 7 days, so 21 days from the total of the filing of the amended complaint. Given that number of defendants have yet to be served, it's totally not accurate. The additional time will not result in any delay. Here's where I have a problem. Footnote 1. Yeah, they were not included in the Helm filing. This right here is where I have the issue. Despite the direct impact of Order 17 on all defendants, given that the original complaint is to be supplanted, the court's order did not include any guidance for other defendants who have been served as to whether they could await the filing of the ordered amended complaint. He should have said, because I am included in 12 and 13, please grant me the time to complain or to file an extension to respond to the amended complaint. So I see what he did, and I don't disagree with what he did. However, yeah, there's that too. Because technically it's not in the computer, but when you're talking to other defendants who have said they refuse to be served, just a hunch on who that could be. Not naming names because I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, he's acting like Helm's attorney is representing them all. That's my other problem. Such BS, more stalling. Yeah, he was given the 30 days on 4/2 because, well, I believe it was 4/2 because according to my calendar, my May calendar, and y'all know I have my giant ass binder here. Friday, May 2nd was, I had noted BBB response to what the Hales to. So he was already granted an extension. I understand why he filed this because of the fact that the motion that MLS's lawyer filed pertains to counts 12 and 13, which Bruce is also a defendant in 12 and 13. So he could have said, he could have worded it better, but I understand the premise of the filing. Hey, I'm included in this, but y'all, like it, when the amended gets filed and only includes Helm, the BBB will file for another extension, I'm sure. Yeah, and we'll see how that goes. But like, I understand the premise of this. So giving Bruce the benefit of the doubt, which is very hard to do, but part of being neutral, for the most part. The facts obviously lead me in one direction, but part of being neutral and staying neutral is giving credit where credit is due. I understand why he filed this. However, how was the judge's order written? Is it an amendment or a supplement? I think it's let's look. Let's open it up, because what better way? Because y'all know, with as many documents that have been filed in all these cases and the other issues with the cases I'm following, my simple local homicide case became a national disaster, which no news media is covering. So I am covering it because it is quite massive and quite important in the grand scheme of things. New lawsuit, judge's order 4-9, amended complaint. Judge's order for amended complaint. Plaintiff must file an amended complaint within 21 days of this order, and that is 9th day of April. So it is an amended complaint. That being said, there's just certain things you don't say. You see. Yeah, just because I understand it doesn't mean I have to like it. There's that. There's a lot of things in this world that I understand, I just don't like. And yeah. He should have conferred with Randy following Helm's attorney, asked for specific details to his client. Bruce should have done the same type of motion for an amendment specific to him. That's a good point too. And do you notice in this, nowhere did he ever say that he spoke to Randy? Whereas Helm's attorney, it's the professional writing versus whiny writing, or not as professional writing. It's that Christopher Gage, MLS's attorney, has made it specifically clear, even without reading like the rule 7.1c, he has made it clear that he has conferred with Randy in a professional environment about this. Bruce never ever does that. He never puts that he spoke with anybody and what they said and what they agreed on or didn't agree on. read what the motion says related to that order. Yeah, we're getting to the rest of the footnote. It's a long footnote. The plaintiff's counsel exploited this uncertainty to multiply proceedings, filing motions for default against the 3 pro se lay defendants who likely believed that they would have at least 14 days from the filing of the amended complaint. That's not the way that shit works. That's not the way that shit works. That's not the way that shit works. I'm against you. No, there is a Rule 7 at the bottom. But even with the Rule 7 at the bottom right here, even without that, take that out of the equation. Like, you block it out, redact it, so you don't actually see it. Christopher Gage made it very clear in his motions that he spoke to Randy and what they agreed upon, and that there was a professionalism between attorneys. Even though he's your adversary, you can be professional and explain how made it very clear in the motion that they had spoken. It's one of those yeah, and he's not one if okay, with him representing, it's seen by many courts, not all. Once again, never clear across the board, never generalize. But with many courts, representing a fellow defendant is seen as a conflict of interest, because whose interest do you really have in mind? Your client's or yours? Kind of a, yeah. But also, same judge. Why would they fire him on one case and hire him on another? If I were the judge and that happened, I would be like, y'all, which means y'all were lying. Somebody lied somewhere. Yeah, BBB this is BBB as a defendant. This is him as a defendant. This is the second case. So might have to change my MLS is making law simple. He's an attorney out of Michigan and a YouTuber who made Jeremy very angry with a couple of things. And the funny thing is I didn't necessarily disagree with all of his video. I disagreed with the fact that Jeremy asked people not to contact Lynette, and he did anyway. And then I think he was a bit butthurt that he invited Jeremy on a Lego stream and Jeremy didn't do Legos. Not everybody is a Lego person. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Yeah. BBB is only representing BBB in any Florida court case. Yeah. So I'm clear, Squid. Bruce flees et al. Are crying anti-Semitism when he doesn't observe his own religious holidays. Yeah, MLS was in his feelings. And MLS was also in his feelings when I timed him out for 24 hours because he was annoying me. And he decided to make another YouTube video with clipping where I timed him out and also sharing all of our DMs. So he is the only other person besides Bruce that is banned from this channel. Mommy. Angel, do you want another ice cube? Yeah. Okay. Can I have that one? Yeah. Okay. So this is one of the, when the judge is already mad at you for on the other case and the fact that you were filing frivolous crap, the plaintiff's counsel exploited this uncertainty to multiply proceedings. You're bringing the other case and part of the reason that the judge is mad at you into this case. Not something that I would do if it was me. Be it I am not an attorney. Never been accused of being one. Never been mistaken for one. But what the judge is mad at you in the other case. The judge is still pondering what sanctions he's going to give you. This is not something that I would want to do as the defendant, is piss off the judge any further. It's it just, do you think BBBS will come out of these continued filings to include LMNOP and Clerk after he stated he was relieved by them? He's also has still sanctions paid. Yeah, Tammy, that's part of the issue. I remember how LP got away with everything with the Thomas. I'll bet she tried here. Poor pitiful me. This is federal. They won't accommodate her. Yeah. The judge is a lot to respond to. I bet more to come today. Yeah, he did put in an order, and we're going to get to that. But in order to read the order, we needed to read this. And I, like I said, didn't have a problem with this. I kind of figured it was coming. However, it's how he words it, and it's not like a, hey, I'm included in this too. Can I also get the extension, and can they make an amendment or an amended complaint that refers to me as well? This comes off more as, well, he did it. He got one, and because Jeremy's trying to multiply proceedings, they didn't do it applying to all defendants because you have to ask for it. They're not going to give you something. Like, God, it's like, I can't even describe what it's like. It's like your worst enemy telling you, well, I wouldn't go there. Or like when you're in war and an enemy telling you, well, here's where our minefield is and here's where the mines are located. Like, he's not going to help you. He's not going to help you. Like, I think that all the others are going to use this as if it was directed to them too as well. Yet again, yeah, I know. And they're going to take what he did. The problem with him doing this is they're going to take what he did and they're all going to file this exact same thing. And they're going to use the same case law just because he did it. And it's like, that's not exactly how it works. It's not exactly how it works. Filing motions for default against 3 pro se lay defendants who likely believed that they would have at least 14 days from the filing an amended complaint. No, they thought if you didn't respond that it would just go away. That's what they thought. We'll talk about that. Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw. I have the judge's response. I have it. It's just I just haven't gotten there yet. I like to do things in order. I don't like to read the judge's response before I read what he's responding to. Just kind of like, yeah. All right. See FRCP 12.4A.4B. If the court grants a motion for a more definite statement, the responsive pleading must be served within 14 days after the more definitive statement is served. The court's response to this request might clarify for all defendants how Order 17 affects them, the time required for filing responsive pleadings. That right there is like, here, judge, here's how to do your job. Instead of like, some people write an order for the judge, but it's respectful. It's for some reason when like I've seen other lawyers and there's lawyers that I don't even like who, when I read their filings, I disagree with the filing and like the contents, but it's respectful. It's not, even when other lawyers write orders, like it never looks and never appears to me to be disrespectful. This just comes across as disrespectful as shit on so many levels. Like, does anybody else get that same vibe? That like, oh, and there was 420 people in here. It's y'all make me laugh because yesterday was 420, and I'm so positive that Bruce filed this on 420 because the contents of his writing makes everybody seem like they're high. So it is weird that Easter and 420 coincided this year, but yeah. It's just one of those situations where things are a little weird. But I'm sure he filed this on 420 because, yeah. Yeah. He's an arrogant person who thinks he's always right. Like that's like, it boggles the mind. It really does. Like, Gail, I agree. Anyone else thought about how mind-boggling this is? I can't wrap my mind about it. It is this judge is not going anywhere. Yes, and remember, we still have the even though Bruce is not the attorney of record on the other case anymore, he still has that filing to remove the judge, which still needs to be dealt with. Because just because he got removed doesn't mean that goes away. So there's still that to be dealt with. Like, it's just one of those situations. But that was short, sweet, and to the point. Here's the order. So this is straight and to the point too. Referral and order referred to Magistrate Judge Belitho on April 21st, 2025. Motion for extension to answer or otherwise plead. Upon consideration of the... Okay, before we get to that, this woman, Jessica... I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your last name. Lloyd Blantnovitz and Sylvia Williams, like, y'all, I wonder what goes through their head when they see all this, because they are the people who are like, looking at when something comes in and going, the judge needs to see this, or this can be done without the judge. Like, this is, yeah. I wonder what they think. To be a fly on the wall in that. Hey, Jinx. Hey, how are you? I miss you. Didn't Shockett say he wouldn't be available because of Passover? I believe so. Yo, and if any of y'all go in Larry's chat, like, I have to contact him, but I have questions for him, and I want his input on the case I covered this morning. I really want his input because it applies what is said in there. I would like a person of the Jewish persuasion to give me their input, and especially a lawyer would be amazing, because this is... Hey. I'm going to say this once. I'm only here to support the channel. I'm not the subject. I'm here to watch Squid get beat up by her daughter. Yeah, and you're I see you found my post about your read. It was sent to me by like 3 people. So yes, I read the first ones. I didn't read her motion because it was copied and pasted. He is a scriber of semantics and likes to twist to meet his warped sense of right and wrong. I actually feel sorry for him and believe he needs help. I do think he needs help. Like, I do honestly, like, think he, I think he was hoping to continue to delay the case with Jeremy's goal is to cost Jeremy as much money and damage. Yeah, it's become personal. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the only thing personal in this is my disdain for Bruce. That is my only, like, we did. It was quiet, which is good. But Mr. Squid smoked 2 racks of ribs yesterday. So I had ribs for lunch today. Yummy. All right. Upon consideration of the foregoing, is ordered this 21st day of April, 2025, defendant Bruce Matzkin has filed a motion. Defendant Matzkin's motion is granted, and his response to plaintiff's amended complaint is due 21 days after the amended complaint is filed. Do you notice what the judge did? Do you notice what the judge did? It was 4:20. I smoked something different. Yeah, that was the only, like, we have a 2-year-old. Come on. One, I've never smoked that in my life. I asked my father one time if I was the only person who's never smoked Mary Jane in her life, and he said yes. So I think at this point, BBB is angry and he's taking it personal, and desperate people do desperate things. Yeah, I think he is from the very beginning of trying to involve Megan, going to Tug, emailing Shizzy, like emailing everybody. When everybody said no, he got upset. He took that personally. And when you take things personally, that's why I make fun of my haters, because y'all wanted 15 minutes of fame. I'm gonna give it to you. Like, y'all want your 15 minutes of fame because the only reason someone takes the time to tell someone they don't like them, you want attention. You want likes. Even if it's like a picture of your family on your private, because you can easily keep those things to yourself if you don't want attention. Y'all want attention. Yeah, he went after me. And to that person who I think has the YouTube name Lady Tammy, definitely, that's not the only, like, I was not covering this on my channel, but I was watching it on other people's channels. I just didn't feel the need to cover it on my channel because it didn't, it interests me, but it wasn't something that I wanted to get involved in. But when someone involves me, who am I to not oblige? Here, take it. You're a big girl. No, I'm gonna put it right there for you then. Okay. No. I'm not. No. Girl, we all know asshole when we see it. Yeah. Can I get my 15 minutes of? Can I get my 15 minutes of fame, please? Come here, boo boo. Come here, Tinky Boo. Come here. Hold on. I gotta pick you up. There you go. Are you sleepy? Yeah. This is what happens when we don't take a nap. So, never smoked anything, so you're not alone. Okay. Hey, Tomato. Angel.
Mama.
Yes.
Mama.
Yes.
Mama. Mommy.
I wish Belitho would take post BBB sanctions already. Yeah, I think.
Mommy.
Angel. I'm not giving you this. This is no. You can have this one. No. You can have this one. Naps. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Slug convinced her that naps aren't real. There you go. You're welcome. I think he is going to take, the judge is going to take every, trust me, I wish he would come out with those those sanctions already, but he has a certain amount of time, and he is going to take, in my opinion, he is going to take all of the time that he is granted, because remember, he has, girl, you have all that right there. No. You're not going to get it all. No, that's all. You got a little bit. That's all you need. Say, you want to give the chat a hug? Go, mwah. Kisses? Mwah. No? Okay. Well, you know. T-Rob, T-Rob, on the not endorses, what did I miss? Whoa. All right. So this is, it's one of those things that he has so many things to go through. Think about all the case law with sanctions. Angel Bug, I love you, but he this is document 28. There's a 29. Uh-oh, I'm after. Oh. Okay, here we go. Look at that. All right. Yeah. Magistrate has time, since he reserved jurisdiction specifically for Federal 1 case, is ordered dismissing BBB from that case. Plus, think about all the things he has to go through, all the orders, all the federal rules of civil procedure, all the case law. There is The professional ethics rules are like 82 pages long. The local rules are hundreds of pages long. The local rules for Florida, the Northern District of Florida, is 82 pages long. Like, these things are long and take a lot of time to go through. I'm late to here, there is Doc 29 and 30. All right, and this is 4 pages. And since I forgot to download the last one, let me, today is 4/21. Defendant. All right, I have to save it, otherwise I'm gonna end up paying for it again, and Pacer gets expensive. Yeah, all the local rules. Here you go. Love you. It's a lot. So here, this is an order. Defendants John Cook and Lynette Preston were personally served with plaintiff's complaint on March 24th, 2025. Accordingly, their responsive pleadings were due April 15th. That deadline passed, and neither defendant Cook nor defendant Preston responded or otherwise appeared in the case. Plaintiff moved for an entry of default, document 21, and the clerk of court entered default under Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 55A against defendants Cook and Preston on April 17th, document 22. On April 18th, defendants Cook and Preston moved to set aside the default and requested 21 days to file responsive pleadings to plaintiff's amended complaint. Document footnote. Defendants Cook and Preston claim good cause exists to set aside the default because they are indigent, proceeding pro se, and involved in several other lawsuits with plaintiff. Defendants Cook and Preston state they lost track of the date they were served. They also state they are not ignoring this or trying to avoid responding, and that they intend to defend against plaintiff's claims. A district court may set aside an entry of default for good cause. Federal Rule of Civil Procedures 55C. See also African Methodist Episcopal Church, Inc. v. Ward, 11th Circuit, 1999. A district court may set aside an entry of default only if the defaulting party can provide good reason for the district court to do so. Good cause warrants a case-by-case analysis, including consideration of the following. A, whether the default was culpable or willful, whether setting it aside would prejudice the adversary, whether the defaulting party presents a meritorious defense, whether there was significant financial loss of the defaulting party, and whether the defaulting party acted promptly to correct the default. SEC v. Johnson, 11th Circuit, 2011. And the footnote was plaintiff's amended complaint has not yet been filed. See document 17. This is the problem. This is the problem. See also Hester v. Gulfstream, Propeller, Northern District of Florida, November 8th, 2019. That one I have to look up. So sorry, I'm gonna I have to, and I'm sorry, I am not sharing this. So I apologize. It says it's sharing and it's not, which is the weird part. There we go. So and I'm sorry that there is stuff covering the screen, even though it's not my face today, because I know that some people are screenshotting and getting documents from other YouTube channels. And to protect myself from that, I apologize, but something has to cover it so that if you screenshot it, you know that it came from somebody's channel. And I'm sorry if you don't like that, but that's what I got to do to protect my channel. And the fact that I pay for these documents. So, Bubba's feelings are hurt because people important to him, Megan, told him he was irrelevant. What when you wouldn't appear with him, he would continue his crap. And I'm not that important. I only have 3,900 subscribers. Like, I am the tiny channel. It is new. It shouldn't be. But I do have where it after or certain things like spamming, you know. And we have 438 people in chat. Can I get a couple more likes? We have 177 likes and 446 people watching. Could we get that up to like 300? Like, Jeff, that I will show you that thing on a future stream. It is amazing. It is amazing. It is detailed, but it is amazing. So there's that. Come on. All right, setting aside an entry of default where there was only minimal delay, no willfulness or prejudice shown, and the party asserted potentially meritorious defense in the case. Defaults are generally disfavored, as there is a strong policy of determining cases on their merits. In World Wide Web Systems, 11th Circuit, 2003, the court finds good cause for setting aside the entry of default against defendants Cook and Preston. Here, there is no evidence that their failure to file a responsive pleading was culpable or willful. It would have been different if they said it on a podcast, but they didn't, as far as I know. So, like, you can't prove ill intent just because past history of not liking somebody. There's the thing. Like, you can't. Yes. So remember when information that we know that would lead us to think that it was done willfully. Remember, the judge doesn't see that. So take that with, like, think about that for a second. The judge doesn't see everything that has gone on since he last had to deal with Lynette and John personally. He's had to deal with them through their lawyer, and he's had problems with their lawyer. But, like, remember, he only has the documents and what is provided in the documents. And in the default judgment, Randy never provided specific proof where they had said, like, yes, but I've even gotten emails to the Musey is my personal medium. She's amazing. She has her own channel. They all said they didn't have to won the floppy floppers. Well, here, the other people still haven't filed anything, and Jeremy and Randy haven't filed a default. But Randy never specifically put in that motion, like, Randy never specifically put in this motion evidence that they did this willfully. Think about that. He never put in, like, Marcus King, thanks for being a member for 4 months. Thank you, Squid. I appreciate you so much. Like, you are amazing. It's one of those it's one of those things of, like, oh, thank you, Marcus King, for the $4.99 super chat. You are awesome. Did Randy put in that motion for default judgment specific evidence that they did this on purpose? I don't think he did. We all interpret it that way because we have feelings about certain people, one way or the other. But, like, we don't. Yes, three are defaulted. However, there's a document 30. This is document 29. There is a document 30 that we haven't got to yet. We're going through them one at a time. Well, here's the thing. The default judgment is one of those things that, yes, it's possible, but the courts don't like doing it. It's like sanctions. They have the power to do it. They just don't like it. It's one of those things that, like, they don't like it. And this judge, as much as I like him, he seems like he is protecting his courtroom for a move up in the future. So he seems like he's like, judges rarely uphold a default judgment if the person appeals it. And there's that too. Oh, thank you, Dragon Lady, for the $4.99 super chat. A little money to help pay for Pacer Docs. Thank you so much. I believe so. I believe so, because we're up to like 130 something. So I believe we like you keep saying, we believe we know things, but the judge doesn't have that info. And unless Randy puts it in a filing, or Bubbles accidentally puts it in a filing, because he's been known to do that. When he put my thumbnails, he proved when he put my thumbnails in his motion, and I was Exhibit 8-1. I was the first Exhibit 8, and then Megan and Tug were next, and then Shizzy, and then maybe somebody else. I don't know. However, when he put my thumbnails there, he fucked up. Because what he should have done to make it look worse for me, and like I was covering more of What the Hales than I really am, he didn't go to my What the Hales playlist. He just went to my main live stream and screenshotted some thumbnails. If he would have been smart, he would have gone to my What the Hales playlist, which only shows What the Hales videos. So it would have looked like all I'm covering is What the Hales, but he didn't. He screenshotted all of my videos, which showed my workout videos, the other cases I'm covering, the trial streaming that I was doing. It showed everything. So he screwed that up. just words of wisdom. There's just best way to move up is to do your job in the first place. That is true. And as much as I like this judge, I do think that he is keeping, because remember, all of his decisions reflect on him as well as the overall case. So I think he is not only protecting himself from any appeal, but he is also protecting his reputation in the event that he moves up to a higher position in the court system. So it's just one of those. And because they only one day after the clerk of court entered the default, defendants Cook and Preston appeared in the case and moved to set aside the default. If they wouldn't have done that, it would have been different. If they didn't do that timely, it would show that they didn't care. But because it was like, oh crap, this is in. So it's just one of the General T, I'm trying to help. What did I do? Yeah. Judge is trying to make sure that any rulings won't be reversed on appeal. And because there's case law, remember, we also have to go with case law. The case law. There is case law that says this is not a common thing to do and that courts don't like to do it. Like, it's not, though. There's plenty of case law that shows that the courts don't like doing certain things. So even though they have the power to, they don't like doing it. And it's like, you have to go by precedent. Everything you do in law, I'm not a lawyer, but I know this much. It's very difficult to create new precedent. When the courts do something a certain way, they like to do things a certain way. And they don't like to change how they do things. No judge likes to be that first precedent. They don't like it. Is there truly proof besides the fleas babbling that shows they didn't intentionally did not answer? I don't know. If there is, I haven't seen it. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't seen it. But there's a lot of things that I haven't seen it, but this is black and white. Yes. Like, find me a judge that likes to be the first person. The only one I can think of right now is if Flash Fan was here, he'd be able to tell you the Judge Arthur from Judge Dewey Arthur from Mississippi in the Carly Gregg case literally told the attorneys, this is the decision I have to make based on precedent. I don't think it's right, but I have to do it. Appeal it. He literally, I wish I could find the clip. I'd have to go back through hours and hours of footage. But he literally says, this is the precedent. This is what the courts have said. I don't agree with it. So appeal it. But he just, I just tuned in. Did anyone tell Tammy to eat a bit? Not exactly, but I did show it again. So the clerk putting in the default is just a process, and the judge can decide in is basically her saying, this is what you wanted. This is what I have to do as part of my job. And then the judge can move to do whatever he wants. So, yeah, they state in their filing they intentionally didn't file. I didn't see that. I do think that they thought they had extra time, and they state that, which is part of just being stupid. Hold on one second. I got your messages loud and clear. And Streamlabs is set up to take certain things. So and this is the first or second stream that I've had where it is set up to block certain things and kind of mod for mods. I'm getting used to how it works, so forgive me if there's some hiccups. So, yeah, the Thomases was trying hard to set new precedent in LP's TRL filing. Yeah. I want to know more about the Ohio court. Unfortunately, I know very little about the Ohio courts. I believe Megan has done videos on it, and there might be some in her playlist. The Ohio court is something that I am not familiar with at all. I've basically been covering the federal stuff because I have a Pacer account, and it's interesting. Additionally, there is no evidence that setting aside the entry of default would result in any prejudice to plaintiff. Several other defendants do not appear to have been served yet, and plaintiff is in the process of preparing an amended complaint that has yet to be filed. Although defendants Cook and Preston have not yet filed a responsive pleading, any response to the original complaint would quickly be superseded given the forthcoming amended complaint. Finally, there is no indication that defendants Cook or Preston suffered a significant financial loss in conjunction with the default. That one I'm not exempt. For these reasons, the court finds good cause to set aside the entry of default. Accordingly, it is ordered that the defendants Cook and Preston motions to set aside default, documents 23 and 24 are granted, and the clerk of court is directed to set aside the entry of default against defendants Cook and Preston. Footnote 2, defendants Cook and Preston must respond to plaintiff's amended complaint within 21 days after the amended complaint is filed. Footnote 3. Here's the footnotes. Because defendant Hughes has neither appeared nor moved to set aside the default entered against her, the clerk's default remains in effect as to defendant Hughes. Your motion for forgiveness of fuck-ups is denied. We'll appreciate you. Not like yeah. Plaintiff is reminded that since defendants Preston and Cook are proceeding pro se, at this time they are not registered in the CMECF system, and pleadings must be served on them via U.S. mail. The certificate of service shall reflect the date on which the plaintiff served defendants and Preston and Cook via U.S. mail. And Paul, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. And I got it where that actually highlights and I can see it. So super chats actually highlight. They still don't get set aside like StreamYard, and I'm still getting used to that. No, it's a thing about Streamlabs I don't like. However, it's one of those things of like, oh, you see, Melody, watch what the Hales videos on the Ohio court as it did not have video in it. Yeah, I don't know much about the Florida court. I followed only because of Judge DeThomasis. Once DeThomasis got removed, my interest in that case. Angel, who's home? Who's home? Daddy's home. I heard the keys. All right. Marla said she had an attorney, so I'm guessing hers will be dropped as well. Yeah. Yeah, this tells me the judge fully expects Randy to amend the complaint for everyone, not just MLS. Well, I think part of the fact that MLS, I don't know, the way MLS worded, or MLS's lawyer worded it, it could potentially apply to all. Yeah, Vice's rest in peace, my friend. And Megan Fox covered the puppet show hearing, and it was great. I do remember the puppet show hearing, but I wasn't like, that's when I was just starting my channel, when I was just focusing on me. Yeah, Judge acting like he's afraid to make a mistake and not looking closely at everything. Angel, what is that? She brought me is that the cup that you use for, she walked in the door and brought me the cup that they use for, their, what's the matter? You want ice? Well, tell Daddy you want ice. The judge added a footnote about shotgun filing, hinting that is needed to be fixed for everyone. Yeah. Oh, Moosey, I got it. And I remember that, like, one step ahead of people. I'm one step ahead of people. It's chess, not checkers. All right. So that one is our first. And then 30. Whee! And I just have to download this. 25. I always need to make sure that I download it. Otherwise, I'll close it, forget, and I'll have to pay for it again. And that's how people get added. Their pacer amounts add up quickly. Is it they don't save it, and I'm saving it, so I only have to, because my pacer bill for this time was $189. I wanted to freak out. There we go. All right. Defendants John Cook and Lynette Preston are currently proceeding pro se in this case. On April 18th, they filed notice requesting court-appointed counsel. They assert that they are indigent and have been unable to retain counsel to represent them. Unlike, remember what I said. Unlike criminal defendants, indigent civil litigants generally have no right to be represented by court-appointed counsel. Vass v. Perrin, 11th Circuit, 1999. Nor does the court have a budget to pay attorneys to represent indigent civil litigants. Thus, the court is unable to select an attorney and order that attorney to represent defendant Cook free of charge. See Mallard v. U.S. District Court, Southern District of Iowa, 1989, declining to authorize compulsory assignments for attorneys in civil cases. The court may, however, in exceptional circumstances, exercise its discretion to request an attorney to represent any persons unable to afford counsel. 28 U.S. Code Statute 1915, E1, emphasis added, based on the unique circumstances of this case and the court's familiarity gained from presiding over a related case, with the facts and issues involved, the court believes it appropriate to request representation for defendants Cook and Preston under 1915E1. Accordingly, the court will direct the clerk of court to issue a notice to all attorneys registered with the court's electronic filing system requesting an attorney to volunteer to represent defendants Cook and Preston. Defendants Cook and Preston are advised, however, that this request does not guarantee them representation. They must continue to defend this case themselves until counsel appears on their behalf. And hey, Wes and Bama, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Pacer fund, I appreciate. This judge at the moment is pissing me off. Well, remember, we don't always agree with the judge, and you're not going to win every battle to win the war. So it's one of those, like, you don't say Rule 26 one more time. Yeah, you're not. The caps don't bother me, and 2, the caps do not affect the YouTube algorithm, so it doesn't matter. Usually people just don't like them because they are a distraction, but I'm already distracted by the chat, so yeah. But caps don't bother me. So yeah, y'all feel free to put the caps in if y'all feel like you need to do that. Or accordingly, it is ordered that defendant Cook and defendants Preston motion to requesting court-appointed counsel are denied in part to the extent that the court will not appoint an attorney to represent them, and granted in part to the extent the court directs the clerk of court to issue a notice to all attorneys registered with the court's electronic filing system and publish on the court's website the notice soliciting a volunteer attorney to represent defendants Preston and Cook. The notice must state, this is the notice of an opportunity to provide pro bono representation in the case of Hales v. Cook. And the case number, plaintiff, the owner of a YouTube channel, claims defendant Cook and Preston, among others, agreed to intentionally and maliciously participate in civil conspiracy amongst themselves and with other individuals, the purpose for which was to commit the torts of defamation per se, and tortious interference with advantageous business relationships. With defendants Cook and Preston are 2 of 10 defendants, and the case is currently in the pleading stage with an amended complaint to be filed soon. Public funds are not available for the payment of an attorney's fees. Limited funds are sometimes available from the district's bench and bar fund for the payment of out-of-pocket expenses incurred by an attorney providing representation of this type. Should have thought of that, Bruce. Public funds are not available for the payment of an attorney's fees. Okay. Members of the district's bar will be afforded access to the electronic docket without charge for the purpose of considering whether to undertake the representation. I don't know any lawyer that would look at this and go, yeah, I'll take it. An attorney who wishes to provide representation may contact the clerk's office to obtain defendant Cook's and defendant Preston's contact information and may enter the case by filing a notice of appearance after obtaining consent of defendants Cook and Preston to the representation. Done in order this 21st day of April, 2025. Zachary C. Blytho. All right, guys, that is that. And I'm sorry if my hair is starting to look kind of funky. I am in the process of trying to remove all the red and pink so that I can do it. Which reindeer was Pacer? The expensive one. The one that charges 10 cents a page. And when you're looking up 4 to 5 different legal or cases in federal jurisdictions, Utah, DC, Florida, two in the same, well, 3 now in the same district of Florida. My NIL lawsuit is in the Northern District of Florida, which I have to do updates for. I've kind of been distracted. And Buck Naked, thank you for the $10 super chat by Pacer and a Krabby Patty so they don't get upset. What lawyer in the right mind would agree to represent them once they research the facts? I don't know. I got nothing. I wouldn't personally, but hey, there are better people than me. There are people who are a lot better people than me. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So Ew. But remember, you like the blossom tree, by the way? Thanks. It's my way. It's a different background, and it's just my way of, because people didn't like when I did this, and I get it. I understand that my face is in the way, but like I know that different streams, not mine personally, but I know that different streams have been screenshotted and screen recorded to get documents that are people pay for. And because people pay for them, even though I'm not a particular fan of certain channels that I know this has been done to, I don't want to have that done to me, so I'm not making it easy. So if you screenshot, you can see that there's something that's in the way or my face. So like I'm protecting my channel. If they don't like it, don't watch. Yeah, and some people have been very rude about it in the comments. Some people have been very rude about it in the comments. And then I've gotten a couple of emails of people who have good intentions, but may not understand why I did what I did, or why I do what I do. I do that to protect my channel and the fact that I pay for these documents. It's not so much important to me when I'm paying for, or when I'm reading a document from Florida, in state court that's easily attainable by everyone. But these are PACER documents, and they're not cheap. They're 10 cents a page, which seems cheap, but when you end up looking at 1,896 pages, it's not as cheap as it seems. So it's I sort of like it. It doesn't stop me from reading it. It's pretty. See, and it doesn't stop people from reading. You don't need to apologize for it. It's your channel and you have the right to protect it. I appreciate that. It's just one of those, it's just one of those things of when I have paid for things, like if you want me to send it, I have documents on my Discord. You want the documents, go to my Discord. But it's just a one of them. Oh my God. No, I think this judge is trying to protect his career. And most judges do. They try to walk eggshells. They try to walk on eggshells to make sure that they protect their interests and their future careers. So, but on that note, I got to get going. Y'all have a great day. I like it. If it bothers, maybe look at watermarking over the whole window. Somebody, I'm not going to say who did it, but somebody that I know messaged me and said, you should put I stole it from Squid watermark, which is just funny to me. And I don't want to have to go to that far, but that was hilarious. Y'all, we still only have 274 likes and 400 people here. If y'all could just hit that like. And if you aren't subscribed, I know 33% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So yeah, if no lawyer takes the leap, then they have to represent themselves. Tomorrow morning, I will be continuing to go over the Nikita Kasap document. It is a federal affidavit written by an FBI agent. This is what we're dealing with, people. How long will I need to hide before I'll be moved to Ukraine? What we thought was just a simple teen unaliving their parents, relatively straightforward in the sense of okay, but those cases fascinate me because it seems to be rampant. It happened in Mississippi, happened in Florida, happened out in Washington or Oregon, where a kid is accused of unaliving their parents because their dad because he voted for Trump. Mia Bailey in Utah. It's happening all over the country. So those cases fascinate me, and I like to cover those. Well, this went from a simple possible alleged unaliving his parents to a I will show you the first part. These are the things that they're trying to prove. Conspiracy, presidential unaliving, and use of weapons of mass destruction. So that is a lesson on why we don't all or nothing, because this is some pretty serious stuff. So there is a trigger warning associated with that one, but I would very much like it if you guys would join me on that one, because this is one of those things of like, how do we prevent this from happening again? There's questions on why this one was made public. Like, I've tried to look this case up on Pacer and it won't show me anything. It's a federal case. There is a federal case number and Pacer won't show me anything. So why was this document released when the other documents in this case aren't released? It's fascinating. And it leads you down some rabbit holes and really gets you thinking about why the little act of political violence, like telling someone to, not serve people in a restaurant if they voted for a certain people, taking someone with a Make America Great Again hat, taking their hat off from them and throwing it in the road. Why things like that are wrong even in the slightest, because when things like that happen, things like this happen. When you okay political violence, as minor as it might seem, and you make it normal and socially acceptable, you get extreme cases such as this. And it's still, I'm still puzzled as to this document being released as public immediately. It's not normal. There's rabbit holes among rabbit holes. But this is an important thing, and nobody in the mainstream media is covering this. They allude to it in the sense of, they mention a plot to overthrow the government, but they don't go into details. I am doing the hard discussions and going into detail. And on that note, people have to go back to being actual parents, not buddies or babysitters, actually teasing, explaining, saying no, and taking control of their house. And I know that my child is only 2, but when she throws a temper tantrum because she doesn't want her diaper changed, somebody had a problem with that the other day that told me I needed to wait till my daughter was calm or asleep to stream, when she was asleep in my arms for half of the thing. That comment was, the person deleted their comment, so I'm not going to make them hater of the week because they deleted them. But when my parents get involved, both of my parents, be it my parents live 1,000 miles away from each other and have been divorced since 1988. That being said, when both of my parents feel the need to respond to your comment, YouTube Studio has the option of putting a watermark in the video. I'm not sure about live streams. That could be useful. Just an idea. Thank you for that. And see, it's like, I don't want to go to that extreme. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, but recall this, this is why when she's crying over that, I give her a few minutes to work it out, because she's crying because I was a parent and I changed her diaper instead of letting her sit in a wet diaper. And she was mad that her dad had a boundary of, you can't go with me to the store unless you change your diaper. She didn't want to change her diaper, therefore he left without her. She was angry. Disappointment is going to happen in life, and I'm trying to teach her that, no means no, not maybe. That was damn cute. But it was like, I give her the time to cry it out, and then when she wasn't able to regulate her emotion, then I comfort her. It give her a couple minutes to figure it out, because she thinks it's the end of the world, and I give her a couple minutes to realize that it's not. But at the same time, I watched a streamer that people would take her doc, so she watermarked everything. Then her watermarked doc showed up in the court filing. And there was a couple there's a Reddit thread for the Laura Owen's case that they watermarked their documents. And when I saw it, I was like, why are they doing that? Now I get it. Like, I don't want to be a dick, but I get it. They just need to keep their mouth shut. And that's why I have a hater of the week stream, because one, it makes me laugh. Second, like, y'all, you only comment. Like, think about reviewing a product. How many people review a product because they really like it? No, they really just want to bitch. Like, they only really review a product or leave a review when they want to bitch and they have something to complain about, and people want attention. And who am I not to give someone the attention that they want so desperately? Because, I'm that kind of petty. But y'all have a great night. I will see you tomorrow morning. We will be continuing to go over this. JKD Block. You're hilarious, and that is not true. But y'all have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Have a great night. Oh, I know. I'm talking about the kids that piss unalive their parents not being involved teaching right from wrong. It's like screaming, we taught scream better or better be heard. Like, my mom always used to say, if you want to cry, I'll give you something to cry about. Like, if you want to cry, I'll give you something to cry about. I'm not quite that, well, she's not old enough for that to be anywhere near appropriate yet, but, Anyway, guys, I will see you on the next one. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me. Y'all are awesome, and I love every single one of you. And remember, dark humor, sarcasm is how we get through difficult topics like this one. And making fun of people is how we keep from going crazy. Bye, guys.